Hi everyone, welcome to the UC Normal YouTube channel. Today I have a really exciting video because it is in collaboration with another YouTuber named Shannon Williams, who is known as the OCPD coach. We connected over YouTube because of our shared diagnosis of obsessive compulsive personality disorder, and we had a blast talking together about specifically OCPD, but also other things. In this video, I'm sharing the part of our conversation that is about mistake making and delegation in the workplace, also about having high standards, and maybe some other things too. Let's get into it.
I just want to know one thing, if you care to share. When you had the episode that you had in college, was it related to your grades?
Good question. So it wasn't related. I mean, in a way, I feel like a lot of the things in college were related to my grades. It
Hmm.
was actually related to group work, like a group project. It was the
Uh,
very end of a group project. And it was, yeah. So it was working with other people. And I think the working with other people, first of all, very hard to do. Even harder, I would say, for someone with OCPD who has their right way of doing things and has problems with delegating. But knowing that my exam grade or final grade or whatever was going to be impacted by that group work is just that much more stressful. So, yes, it was related to my grades and it was also wrapped up with working with others.
wow, so that was the perfect storm, so to speak, of it because you have everything at that was your final. That was your actual final, like that experience in general, and that's so interesting. Um, we talked about you talked about group projects and delegation, and I'm guessing you were probably the same way. But I was always the kid in school who did the entire project. Like I would just say, "Hey, don't worry about chipping in at all. I got this." And yeah, that
Same.
was the same. Okay, you start so you see a lot of these signs young. It's so telling. It's so telling. But these are positive things. These are not nobody would look at that and say that's an issue. They would say, wow, they work hard. They did a great job. Do you see that? And that's
Yep.
what you want. That's what you asked. Do you see? Look, I did the whole project. Do you see that? I want you to know. I want the teacher to know I did the whole project. Like this was me. I'm not gonna put them down though, but this was me who did the project. That's
Yeah. Yeah. Part of it's like I have this idea where it's like um when when society is reinforcing your downfall because they they see it as positive. So for example, wow, they're working really hard. That is so awesome. Hard work is really important. So then you keep working hard to keep achieving, but
Mhm.
you aren't stopping to, first of all, analyze why you're doing it, which is kind of what you're saying. Like, who are we trying to be perfect for?
Mhm.
And then, like, realizing the toll that it's taking on you over time. And so by that point, in college, it sort of reached this peak of I was like, okay, I can't keep going like this.
Mhm.
I need help.
Got you. But you made it all the way through college, or a long way through before you got to that point. So while we're on this, I wanted to give some feedback or some advice for folks who might be dealing with a couple of them. We have delegation here. Imposter syndrome was mentioned. We talked about perfectionism. I want to know if you have any specific advice for either of those: delegation, perfectionism, or just striving for perfection, imposter syndrome, any of the things that we just covered that you think might be helpful.
Yeah, I think I've recently learned something about delegation slash asking for help. A lot of the times I feel in a work setting, I will just try to take on all the tasks that are mentioned at any meeting because I'm like, I got this. I know how to do this. And if I don't know how to do this, I will figure it out.
Mhm.
Right. But when people are mentioning different tasks and things that need to be done, like they're not challenging you. They're not personally challenging you and thinking that you can't do that.
Mhm.
So you don't need to accept tasks or not give away tasks and delegate because you think you're trying to prove something to someone.
Right. Right.
I think it's actually assumed that you do know how to do that thing, but what's more important is making sure your plate is well balanced, with tasks so that you don't burn out over time. So basically for me it was like people know that I can do this thing. I don't need to take on everything in order to prove that I can. I already have the job. So it actually kind of coincides with imposter syndrome then.
I literally, oh, you hit it. I love it. I literally circled imposter syndrome and drew an arrow and said, taking it all in, because that's exactly what I thought. It's like we're trying to prove to who? Who are we proving it? I love it. Yes, you go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you. That just was two on the money. You have to expose yourself to it more, and it's not an overnight thing that gets resolved, but this is what I recommend. Force yourself to deal with mistakes, even if it makes you look a certain way. A few things I'll give you an example of. When I shaved my head bald, because I had hair and I decided to shave it because it was easier, it was more efficient for me to have a bald head. I was horrible. I'm still suck kind of, but I was really bad. And I posted a picture of my torn up head when I was shaving, in the middle of me shaving it, to the OCPD support group, because it's like, hey, this is forced exposure. And it allowed me to laugh. And me doing that one time took off all pressure of me not having my hair cut going forward, in the right way. It's okay if I'm not perfect. So the other component of this is finding out what finding real world examples of other bigger companies messing up, because I've always held myself to this standard, compared to the best of the best. And we tend to compare ourselves to the best. Anything we do, we want to be the best of the best. Something as simple as game development, me making video games. I wanted my game to be bug free. I said no bugs. If it's a bug, I'm a fraud. And then I started playing Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, which it has a multi-million-dollar budget, over 100 developers, years to bake in the oven. And I literally laugh now because I find bugs in the game, like a human just blending in with the wall. And I just take pictures. And I literally I go around and I take pictures of imperfection in the world. Another thing, crooked pictures. I get those a lot. There was a tile job in Florida. I can remember. This is the thing. We remember stuff. We remember where we saw the imperfection. But in Florida at Disney Springs, there's a restaurant called Planet Hollywood. And if you go in the men's restroom, you go in the men's stall, look at the tile on the floor. Look at the tile on the floor, and you're going to find crooked tiles. So this is something that I've gotten myself used to finding in the real world. And now I don't have this unrealistic expectation for myself, because we're one person. We can only control what we can do. So what are your thoughts on that before I start pivoting to another convo?
Oh my gosh, I have a lot of thoughts. One is I love that you're doing that, but it's important that you have the mindset that you're having, because I feel like years ago I could have done the exact same thing as you, right? Like basically record mistakes, but in a way that's like, obviously they need help, they need better people, like more in a punitive way.
Mhm.
But you're doing it in a way that's more like, it is okay. You can give yourself grace. This mistake happened. It doesn't seem like anything bad happened. I recently have come up with this phrase, which is mistakes aren't milestones.
I
So
like that.
like you don't have to go back. You don't need to keep track of the mistakes that you made. It's not a big deal. It's gonna happen over and over again.
Right.
It's not a milestone. So that helped me a lot too.
I like that. My mistakes aren't milestones. Dash Molly from You Seem Normal. I'm writing this down. Um,
I'm
so
glad this is recorded because otherwise I've been missing some of the stuff I want to write down that you've said.
yeah, no, this is great, and we're gonna have, like I said, this is our first time ever meeting. So we're just flying right now. We're just flowing, and in the future, I think we can make even better videos where we're more, not even better. I don't like that term. We'll make more specific videos where we can dive into a deep topic, or even answer questions if you guys have them.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you gained something from this video. Be sure to check out Shannon's channel, which is the OCPD Coach on YouTube, for more of his incredible content, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.